Hi guys. This is called The Villa of Your Dreams. So before I start reading here, I'm gonna set the mood a little bit. All throughout the world, architects dream of buildings, trying to create something that's never been done before. As one architect fell asleep, she dreamt of a grand archway floating above a building like a giant cloud and creating a massive vaulted space. The archway appeared to be larger than life as it sat upon a long stairway, lifting it off the ground. The arches were extruded back into a space to another, smaller vault. But as dreams like to take twists and turns, a giant mass of three-dimensional cake appeared in front of the arches. The cake had a repetition of horizontal stacked layers. These layers began to divide as someone was cutting a slice of cake for themselves, revealing the arches behind it on the right side of the building. The straight lines of the cake became the perfect contrast to the giant cloud vaults. The vaults connected to the cake layers that became the many repeated floors of the building, and the domed hallways on the center outer edges created more repetition by mimicking the larger archways. In her dream, the building weighed back and forth on the possibility of the arches having radial symmetry to create a dome, but in the end, it made sense for them to have bilateral symmetry in order to extrude back into space to connect to the smaller vault. The large archways and the domed hallways gave the building a sense of bilateral symmetry with axes cut down the middle, but as a whole, it is an asymmetrical piece, more dense on one side and more airy on the other. The architect was walking up the many staircases into the vaults when, just like that, she woke up and the dream was over. All right, so now that the dream is over, we can turn that off. First, I wanted to talk about the different possibilities for the large vaulted space that I mentioned in the narrative. So here's my study images, and first we have just the extruded arch that I ended up going with because it made the most sense to me with the smaller vaults behind it and how to connect them. Second is just a series of extruded archways with half domes. So this one, the half dome is on the back. And then this one, I experimented with a half dome on both sides with the extruded section in the middle. And then lastly is the complete radial symmetry, the dome. And I like that a lot, but it isn't able to incorporate the front arch in the section, as you can see. So it just didn't work out unless I wanted to change everything. And then here is the composite image so you can see everything that I chose to do. And zooming in right here are the stairs that I mentioned in the narrative. It talks about lifting it off the ground, so it makes this larger than life dome kind of have, or vault, kind of have a weightless feel. And then lastly, I just wanted to talk briefly about the color coding of my entire project here. So what I did was I used warm colors to show the inhabitable spaces. So everywhere that people can move around are in warm tones. So red, yellow, orange, and pink here. And then there's one section here that is a cool tone. So the blue is kind of the cake space that I mentioned in my narrative. And it's actually castellated beams. So it's showing the space between the beams where people could not inhabit. So therefore it's blue and a cool tone. And that is how the Villa of Your Dreams came to be. Thanks for watching.